Have you ever felt that gnawing sense of inadequacy, that persistent whisper telling you you're not quite enough? Perhaps you've scrolled through social media, seen someone else's highlight reel, and instantly felt your own life dim in comparison. Or maybe you've looked at a colleague's success, a friend's relationship, or a neighbor's possessions, and found yourself wishing your reality mirrored theirs. This feeling, this subtle yet pervasive habit, is a silent thief, relentlessly stealing your happiness, one comparison at a time. Today, we're going to explore this insidious trap, drawing upon profound Buddhist wisdom to understand why it causes us so much suffering and, more importantly, how we can break free. We'll uncover the path to genuine contentment, a peace that doesn't depend on external validation, but blossoms from within. The human mind, in its quest for understanding and self-assessment, often defaults to comparison. It's a deeply ingrained habit, perhaps even a survival mechanism from our evolutionary past, where gauging our standing within a group was crucial. But in our modern world, this instinct has been amplified to an unprecedented degree. We are constantly bombarded with curated images of perfection, narratives of effortless success, and idealized versions of life that rarely reflect the full, complex truth. From the moment we wake up and check our phones, to the interactions we have throughout the day, opportunities for comparison are endless. We compare our careers, our finances, our physical appearance, our relationships, our parenting styles, even our spiritual journeys. This constant measuring stick, however, is a fundamentally flawed tool for assessing our own worth or happiness. When we compare ourselves to others, we are almost always comparing our unfiltered, messy, internal reality with someone else's carefully constructed external facade. We see their peak moments, their triumphs, their curated joy, and we contrast it with our own struggles, our doubts, our everyday challenges. This creates an immediate and often painful disconnect. We perceive a gap between where we are and where we think we should be, based on someone else's perceived journey. This gap is the breeding ground for envy, resentment, anxiety, and a profound sense of dissatisfaction. Buddhist teachings offer a powerful lens through which to understand this suffering. The Buddha taught that much of our unhappiness, or dukkha, arises from craving and attachment. When we constantly compare ourselves, we are essentially craving what others have, or craving to be someone we are not. We become attached to an idealized image of ourselves, one that is constantly being judged against external benchmarks. This attachment to an external standard of success or happiness inevitably leads to suffering, because external circumstances are inherently impermanent and beyond our ultimate control. There will always be someone who appears to have more, to be doing better, or to be further along. It's an endless, unwinnable race. Consider the nature of the self in Buddhist philosophy. The concept of no self, or anatta, suggests that there is no fixed, unchanging, independent self. Our identity is fluid, interconnected, and constantly evolving. When we compare, we are trying to solidify a self-image based on external factors, which is a futile exercise. We are chasing a phantom, a mirage of what we believe we should be, rather than embracing the authentic, ever-changing being that we are. This pursuit of an externally validated self leads to a deep sense of unease, a feeling that we are perpetually falling short. So, how do we break free from this relentless cycle of comparison and reclaim our inner peace? Buddhist wisdom offers three profound practices: gratitude, mindfulness, and appreciating our own unique journey. These aren't just abstract concepts. They are practical tools that can fundamentally shift our perspective and transform our experience of life. Let's begin with gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to comparison because it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already possess. When we are comparing, our minds are fixated on scarcity, what others have that we don't, or what we wish was different about our lives. Gratitude, on the other hand, cultivates an awareness of abundance. It encourages us to pause and acknowledge the blessings, big and small, that are already present in our lives. Think about it. When you are genuinely grateful for the roof over your head, the food on your table, the warmth of a loved one's smile, or even the simple act of breathing, there is little room for envy or resentment. Gratitude grounds us in the present moment and connects us to the richness of our own experience. It reminds us that our lives, with all their imperfections, are still filled with moments of beauty, kindness, and opportunity. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means consciously choosing to acknowledge the good, even amidst difficulties. A simple daily practice could be keeping a gratitude journal, listing 3 things you are thankful for each day. Or, before you go to sleep, reflect on a few positive experiences or aspects of your day. Over time, this practice retrains your brain to seek out and appreciate the positive, making it harder for comparisons to take root. It helps us recognize that our own journey, with its unique tapestry of experiences, is inherently valuable and worthy of appreciation. Next, we turn to mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of the current moment without judgment. It's about observing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations as they arise, without getting caught up in them or letting them dictate our emotional state. When we are comparing ourselves to others, we are often lost in a whirlwind of thoughts about the past, regret, what we should have done, or the future, anxiety, what we need to achieve. Mindfulness brings us back to the here and now. Imagine you're scrolling through social media and you see a post that triggers a wave of comparison. A mindful approach would involve noticing that feeling, perhaps a tightening in your chest, a surge of envy, or a thought like, "Why isn't my life like that?" Instead of immediately getting swept away by these emotions or thoughts, mindfulness encourages you to simply observe them. Acknowledge their presence without judgment. You might say to yourself, there's the feeling of comparison arising. This simple act of observation creates a space between you and the thought, allowing you to choose your response rather than reacting automatically. Mindfulness helps us recognize that comparison is often just a thought, a mental habit, not an objective truth. It allows us to see that these thoughts are impermanent, like clouds passing in the sky. We don't have to identify with them or let them define us. Through mindful awareness, we can gently redirect our attention back to our own experience, our own breath, our own unique path. Regular mindfulness meditation, even for a few minutes each day, can significantly strengthen this ability to observe without judgment and cultivate a deeper sense of inner calm. It helps us to be present with our own journey rather than constantly looking over our shoulder at someone else's. Finally, and perhaps most crucially, Buddhist wisdom encourages us to appreciate our own unique journey. This is where the true liberation from comparison lies. Every single one of us is on a distinct path, shaped by an intricate web of circumstances, experiences, strengths, and challenges that are entirely our own. There is no universal blueprint for a perfect life, and trying to fit our unique existence into someone else's mold is a recipe for perpetual frustration. The Buddha taught about the interconnectedness of all things, but also the distinctness of individual experience. Your journey is yours alone. It has its own rhythm, its own lessons, its own triumphs, and its own struggles. To compare it to another's is like comparing an apple to an orange. Both are fruits, but they are fundamentally different in their essence and purpose. Appreciating your own journey involves cultivating self-compassion. This means treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and acceptance you would offer a dear friend. When comparison arises, instead of berating yourself for not being enough, offer yourself compassion. Acknowledge the pain of comparison and remind yourself that you are doing your best, navigating your own unique challenges. Recognize that your worth is not contingent on external achievements or how you measure up against others. Your inherent worth is simply because you exist. Furthermore, understanding the Buddhist concept of impermanence, anicca, can be incredibly freeing. Everything is constantly changing. People, circumstances, even our own feelings and thoughts. The perfect life you see someone else living is also subject to change. Their successes are impermanent, and their struggles, though perhaps hidden, are also part of their evolving journey. This understanding helps us to let go of the illusion of a fixed, ideal state that we must constantly strive for. It allows us to embrace the ebb and flow of our own lives, trusting that each moment, each experience, holds its own value. When we truly appreciate our own journey, we stop seeking external validation. We realize that our happiness doesn't come from outperforming others or accumulating more. It comes from within, from cultivating a deep sense of acceptance and contentment with who we are and where we are right now. It's about recognizing that you are enough exactly as you are, with all your unique qualities and experiences. This doesn't mean complacency. It means operating from a place of inner strength and self-acceptance, rather than from a place of perceived lack. Reclaiming your happiness from the clutches of comparison is a continuous practice, not a one-time fix. It requires conscious effort and a gentle redirection of your mind, but the rewards are immeasurable. By embracing gratitude, cultivating mindfulness, and deeply appreciating your own unique journey, you begin to dismantle the mental structures that fuel comparison. You start to build a foundation of inner peace that is resilient to external pressures. Imagine a life where your joy isn't diminished by someone else's success, where your self-worth isn't dictated by social media feeds, and where your path is celebrated for its authenticity, not its conformity. This is the freedom that Buddhist wisdom offers. This is the peace that awaits when you choose to end the endless cycle of comparison. Peace truly begins when comparison ends. It's a profound shift, a liberation that allows you to fully inhabit your own life, to savor its unique flavors, and to walk your path with confidence and joy. You are worthy of this peace. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. If this message resonated with you, and you feel ready to embark on your own journey towards greater inner peace, please consider sharing this video with someone who might benefit. And if you'd like to continue exploring paths to a more mindful and fulfilling life, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us share these valuable insights with a wider community.